welcome everybody. I hope everybody continues to be healthy and well and getting through it. I know vaccines are starting and some people may have gotten their first one. Some people may have gotten their second one, but that's good. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's call the meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would repeat after me or with me, I would appreciate it. I pledge allegiance
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation
under God,
with
indivisible,
liberty
with
and
liberty
justice
and justice for all.
justice for all.
All right. Thank you, Paul, for the flag. And we'll do the roll call. I'm here. Brian Gephardt. He said he was going to be here today. Carla, you're here, right?
Yes, I'm present.
Okay. Ashok did contact me and Jeff did contact me. They are going to be absent today. Kathy, you're here. Siv,
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
Yep. Susan Howe, yes. Yep. Paul is here. There's Brian Gephardt is here. Okay. And Benita, she is planning on being here. Brian Kilgore.
I'm here.
Good. Connie is here. Kelly is here. Eric is here. Yep. Gerald Green, I know, is here.
Present.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Sharon, probably not going to be with us, right? Luis is here and recording, I'm sure. And Judith is here. And did I overlook anybody? I don't think so. Okay. So let's start off with approval of the meeting minutes from last month, January 13th. They were sent out with the agenda. And are there any items for discussion, corrections, omissions, anything of the sort?
I move we accept the minutes of last meeting.
Thank you, Paul. Can we get a second? Anyone? Kathy?
I'll second. This is Carla.
Carla seconds, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed on approving the minutes? Okay, the minutes are approved. Let's see, do we have any oral written communications at this time? Brian, anything through your office?
Sir.
Kelly? Anything?
No, we didn't receive anything that I'm aware of.
Okay. Connie, anything about finances that come through? Nope. Okay. Kathy or Brian or anybody on the CBOC? Anything that we need to? Nope. Okay, none. All right, great. Okay, Kelly, I know you have a short timeline this evening, so let's switch up the order of the presentations today. Let's go with Kelly first, and then we'll go back to the finance report.
Okay.
So, Kelly, I just got the report just a few minutes ago. Gerald, thanks for emailing it over.
Yep.
Everybody, it did come out. It's on an email. It's probably right on the very top of your emails because I just sent it literally 5 minutes ago.
I apologize for that. We've been having some problems with our email. I just was talking to Lucas and some of his IT folks earlier because I in particular, ever since we've had our power outage, I've had a lot of emails that don't go out. I've been getting emails from people saying, hey, you sent this to me 3 days ago and I just got it literally like 2 minutes ago. So
Okay.
I apologize for you guys not getting that out to you all, but there's definitely something going on that hopefully we'll get it resolved. But anyway, I wanted to give Gerald an opportunity to report out on the monthly report of the status of the projects. Since he's been on with us, he's been taking a lot more of the responsibility of monitoring and managing a lot of the day-to-day and the progress of the program. So I want to provide him an opportunity today to actually lead out and provide an update on the report for you all. And I'll be happy to share the screen if you'd like me to do that, Gerald.
Connie, can you put yours up if you don't mind? Because we made a correction, a last minute correction to the report, Kelly.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you all for coming in tonight, and we just want to kind of go through this with you a little bit and let you know what we've been doing. So there's not a lot that has changed from the last time, but obviously, you know, the Thornton Middle School conversion project is going on, and we've got the increment 1 DSA approved, increment 2 DSA has approved, an increment 3 DSA has approved, and we have bid that out. And hopefully we'll be starting construction soon on that. And
Gerald, can I interrupt for just 1 second?
yes,
Am I looking at the right one up in the very upper right-hand corner? Mine happens to say September 2020. Is that the right? that's
no,
the final-
it should say February 2021. So
So I've sent out
the
the
same
wrong-
report, just didn't make that change. So my apologies for that, Chip.
Oh, is that one of the recent updates?
Yes, we had changed that, and for some reason it didn't come out on the one that I sent to Connie. So it is
Okay, all right.
February 2021.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
So my apologies. So
No
we
problem.
are, and the project budget for that is holding at 92,473,823. And we're looking to be completed with this in spring 2023. Next up, we have the Centerville Middle School conversion project. Increment 1 is under DSA review. Increment 2 DSA has approved. Increment 3 DSA is currently reviewing. And the budget for that is holding at 90,233,148. And we're looking to have a full completion in spring 2023. Washington High School Theater Modernization. We are under construction for that. The budget is holding at $3,900,000, and we hope to be done with that this fall. So the Hopkins Middle School conversion project is up next. And we are in the process now of issuing pre-qualifications to contractors. Hope to have a contractor in April. And that should be completed in fall 2023. And that budget we hope will remain at $84,061,263. Next up is the Kennedy High School modernization, design development. We're doing the preliminary checks with the DSA on that. And that's going to be HVAC, some roof upgrades, some flooring. That budget we hope will hold at $25,502,129. And the completion date looks to be fall of 2022.
Wow.
So Gerald, when all these projects clear DSA, is there going to be enough labor and materials and so on and so forth to support construction when these come through? Or
Oh yeah. The market is as such now that there's no shortage of labor and materials.
And do we actually buy material while we're in the DSA phase, or do we wait?
No, we don't. That's the contractor's obligation, Chip. When they bid on the project, that's their labor, that's their materials, that's everything, whatever their proposal or bid or whatever we award them at.
Okay.
So they wouldn't buy it until they start to for the project.
Okay.
So we wouldn't buy before they mobilized.
Right.
American High School, that project is completed. And I think we have received the final completion documents for that, but that's done. That one is done. So We'll move down to Horner. And this project as well has ended at 98,111,374. The only thing left to do on this is the locker rooms, which we hope to have done this spring. So, which was kind of a side project that wasn't a part of the overall project at the beginning of it. That was something that was kind of tacked on later, but the contractor is finishing up. And the Thornton High site work, there's some demolition going on there, and that project is gonna, that one's pretty much complete. I think there's some, a little bit of punch list items that's going on, but that ended at 2,435,976. Walters is complete and occupied. Grimmer Fence is complete. And then American High School, as I said. So any questions on those?
Going back to American, what's the name of the document when it's all finally done and it's bought off?
Substantial completion, I mean, final completion?
Yeah, I mean, it's all done and, you know, and you're ready to take it over. There's a document that they.
Like a certificate of completion or something like that?
Yeah, that's it. Certificate of completion. Has that been submitted now or
That hasn't been
in review
issued.
or?
That hasn't been issued yet, but Kelly, did that go to the, is that going to the board?
Yes, actually, the notice of completion for American goes next week to the board.
Notice of
Once
completion,
it's
that's it.
filed, it'll go to the county, and then it'll also then go to OPSC. So, and we expect to have full turnover. I believe Sam said all documentation will be turned over and keys and everything on February 15th.
So there you
Now,
go.
the other two things, Gerald, that you also should mention to them is that the playfields for Thornton, as well as the playfields for Horner, will be released back to the district for use this month. And so even though they're part of the overall modernization programs, because we as the school district need them for our auxiliary and community-based activities, part of the contractor's responsibility was to turn those back over to early. So we are going to be taking possession of those, and we'll be maintaining those by the end of the month. So if you guys happen to see something, please let us know. And Siv, thank you so much for always sending emails about things that you observe out in the field and at the schools so that we can address it before our contractors leave.
Kelly, this is Carla Cox. Can you confirm that the notice of completion has already been submitted to the board and everything for Walters?
Yes, Walter's notice of completion was, I believe, done in 2018 or the beginning of 2019. But I can confirm that because that predates me, so I'm not.
Carla, I think I sent those to you a couple of months ago. You had asked about those, and I think I emailed them to Chip, and he submitted them to you. Is that correct, Chip?
Okay, I'll check my email. Thank you, Gerald.
Okay. I sent you the actual notices themselves.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
On American High last month, it was reported that there was a $1 million underrun anticipated. Where are we at on that now?
Actually, I will leave that to Connie to discuss in the financial report. The other thing that I wanted to share with you all before I have to head out, we have been doing the Measure E community meetings, and I wanted to inform you guys that we've completed 3 of the 5 based on the 5 attendance areas. And so we've gotten a very good response. The community has been very supportive and responsive to the information that we've been providing. And I just want to say thank you to the CBOC members that have attended and have participated in the audience, as well as our Board of Trustee members also observe and participate from the audience perspective as well. We've been very good about documenting a lot of the questions that have been received by the community. And one of the things that we're going to be doing at the conclusion of all of these community forums, we're going to have a basically a spot on the website where they can go and they can basically look at the presentations, but also have the questions that were raised with answers addressing their concerns available for review as well. So I just wanted to give you guys an update. We've done Washington, Kennedy, and Irvington so far. And the next two will be Mission San Jose. And then I'm drawing a blank. The last one.
Forgot to.
What the last two, but Mission San Jose is one, and then the American.
American, yep, American.
Thank you. Thank you. It was just stuck. I couldn't remember it. So those two are scheduled for February 8th and February 9th at 6:30 to 7:30 on each night. Currently, we have for Mission San Jose, we have 116 registered. And then for American attendance area, we have 136 registered. So hopefully, if we can get half of those people to actually come, that would be awesome. So, but we've had a very good response from community members thus far. So, and then what else was I going to share?
Hey, Kelly, this is Carla again. What were the numbers of attendees for the ones you've already done?
Let's see. Let me grab my handy notes here.
I think it was 80 at the first one, Kelly, and 70 at the second one.
Let's see. I just was talking about this with the superintendent yesterday, and I don't know, I just had them 2 seconds ago and they disappeared. Oh, there you go. So for the first meeting, Washington, we had 36 people that actually attended, and we had.
I thought the first one was Kennedy.
I'm sorry, Kennedy.
Kennedy, yep.
Kennedy was the first one, and we had 17 questions of that. Then
36 people, you said?
Yeah, 36 people, and then 17 questions.
Okay.
And then on, what was the second one? Washington? Was
Washington.
the first one. We had, we had more than I thought. We had 41 in attendance, and we had 18 questions. And then last night we had 27 people, but I think at one point there was around 33 because people would like log on, then log off, log on, log off. And we had 11 questions. So pretty good turnout, pretty good, engagement. People were, it's always funny whenever we say, okay, this is the last, last question, then other people then start to ask questions. So it was really good, really, really good. I know, Brian, you attended one of them. What was your impression and any feedback that you could provide us?
I thought that they went well. It was good to hear the questions, and I think it underscored, that this education work is important, both generally about the bond and specifically about what's happening in each attendance area. So,
well, good, thanks. So, Gerald, do you have any other information you wanted to share about this report?
No, I was just going to add that it's obvious too, going back to the community meetings, that people are paying attention, they are watching and appreciating the work, and that was evident in the meeting. So,
very good.
Chip, you had a question?
Yeah, on the VOIP, it looks like we went backwards this month. Last month we were 100% and anticipating the notice of completion going to the board on January 20. And now we dropped back to 97%. What's going on with VOIP?
Kelly, can you speak to that one?
I sure can. So We are technically 100% complete, but because we've had a lot of the testing and you kind of chase down problems, we are actually going back and specifically at the district office, not at the classes, and we're having to redo some devices that were installed because we found out that there was a manufacturer's recall on a couple of them. So that's why we ended up dialing it back, because we're kind of going back over work that's already been done and making corrections and resetting timing and just kind of making sure everything is the way that it's supposed to, even though we have filed the notice of completion. So that's why you see that 97% complete.
Has the notice of completion been filed or it's on hold?
No, it actually was filed. And so we found out these things after the last board meeting when the notice of completion was filed. And so that's when we discovered that there were problems and that they needed to be remedied. So that's currently what's going on with that project. But there have been no release of retention and there's been no final payments made out to people. Those particular items are on hold till those issues get resolved.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else have any questions regarding the project report?
Okay. All right. Well.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you,
Yes.
everyone.
Okay, then we'll go on to Connie and the budget report.
All right. Okay, here is the January financial report. So for January, the expenditure was about $3.6 million. So December was about 3.4. So I would say the average monthly expenditure would it's around $3 million. So we do have a couple of updates reflecting here. So for Horner Middle School, it went to the board. Has been a budget increase that went to the board on January 30th, and it was for the locker room expansion project. So as you could see that the budget has been increased from 98,693,263 to this number right here, 99,756,555. So this money was actually transferred from the program contingency. So this is the reason why that you see that the program contingency has been reduced from 2.2 million to 1.1 million here. But we do have good news. Walters middle school conversion budget, we do have a surplus of 1.4 million. Are there any questions so far?
Connie, I noticed that the top of the report, the program contingency wasn't updated, if I'm reading it correctly, or maybe I'm from the attachment that was shared. Maybe do I have the right attachment? Yeah. You scroll up to the first page. I just wanted to confirm that the program contingency numbers matched. Yeah, it looks like there's a clerical error because the program contingency is still 2.6 million on the first page, if I'm reading this correctly.
I'm sorry, I did a manual adjustment on the second page. I'll go ahead and make adjustments here on the next report. Sorry about that.
Oh, thank you. I love the footnotes, by the way. It makes it, I appreciate you continuing to do that. It makes it easy to follow all the decisions.
Thank you. And also, Brian, last time you asked for the group numbers. I also added the group numbers so you can easily see which groups are here. And also on the last page, all the group 2s and 3s are also right here as well. Are there any other questions?
You said the contingency was reduced?
For Walters?
Did I understand that contingency discussion there?
Oh, for the first page?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, when I did the report, I had to manually reduce this program contingencies to reflect the corner increase, but I didn't take it out from the front page.
You know, when I look at last month's report, the contingency was 2.219 million, and now it's 2.612 million. So the contingency went up from last month.
Last month was 2.2, but right now we have 1.1.
Am I looking at the wrong line? I'm looking at page 1, the line 0, program contingency, 2.6.
So you're looking at the last report?
I'm looking at your report that's on the screen right now.
Right, this number, sorry, this number I entered it incorrectly. This number has to be changed to reflect this number right here.
Oh, that number should be 1.156?
Yes.
Chip, I think that's what Brian was just asking about.
Sorry, I missed it.
Oh, and before I go, just I want to make sure you guys understand. So there was a project budget increase that was approved by the board on Saturday for Horner. That is the same project budget that we had discussed at our last meeting of the changes that we encountered that we needed to encumber additional funds to complete the locker room project. So what you're going to see is the reduction in the program contingency will be reflected in the Horner project budget of the locker room. And then there was also a budget increase for the Washington High School Theater that was also taken to the board for approval, and I believe was approved the last board meeting, not the Saturday, but the one on Wednesday. So just to provide you guys clarification. And Connie and Gerald, you guys can see that. Unfortunately, I do have to go because I'm overcommitted today on too many meetings that require my attention, but I wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to talk to you all about this. But you guys are in good hands. And so if there's any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to address them as best I can.
So Connie, I'm still confused.
Thanks, Kelly.
Pardon me?
I'm still confused on the contingency.
Okay.
American
Well,
High
I'll
School
walk you
finished
through it.
with 715K of underrun, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, Chip, could you repeat that question?
American High School,
Right.
715, right there. That increased contingency by 715, right?
I don't believe that's been swept into the contingency yet.
It hasn't.
I don't think that 715 has been put in.
Well, it seems like it would. If it's on this chart, it ought to roll up to the bottom line.
No. The projected surpluses, which what column D is, have never been included in the program contingency. It's when they're closed out,
Right.
they get swept in. So that
Okay, yeah, you're right.
that
So that's true with Walters then also.
Right, Walters 1.4 has been reconciled. This number is the final number. So this number is the potential number that will be eventually transferred into program contingency. But as for the American High School mod project, the NOC is going to the board next week, I believe. So once that's finalized, when we get all the invoices and pay applications received and processed, and this number may go up or down after reconciliation. So,
Okay.
I was just looking at Walters. That actually is a much larger number than we were projecting before. Last month was 377,000.
right.
Now 1.4, which that's good news, right? Better to be conservative.
Yeah, last month the 377 was the program, the project contingency of Walters, but there were other lines such as inspection, material testing, etc. So we basically had to reconcile all the remaining balances from each line item. So that's why this number it's arrived at 1.4, including the project contingency, all the other items as well.
So Connie, what's the timing of when that money would go from the Walters line item to be swept into the contingency? Like how does that process work?
It actually has to go to the board. Kelly is reviewing it. When Kelly determines the process, then we should be able to know when this will go to the board. We just have to figure out the next step.
So, and I think Carla, she reviews that with the associate superintendent as well, and they make their determination to put it to the board.
This may help people. If the previous report, it was a 2.2 in program contingency and another $1 million in projected surplus, which is 3.2. You know, in this report is 1.1 program contingency and 2.1 in the column D, which is about 3.2. So assuming the projected surpluses are about right, our overall, you know, our projected plus actual program contingency is around $3.2 million. So it actually hasn't gone down, even with, you know, the Walters reconciliation has offset the Horner changes, it appears, if my math, and actually, and a bit most of the Washington changes.
Yep, it looks like that. That's accurate, Brian.
And then, oh, actually, not to be too much of a nitpick, but Connie, if you could add a footnote to Washington Theater as well. I know all those things happened like in the last week, so I get.
Okay, we'll do.
And then group 2 is planned to start this summer. Is that right? Just to refresh my memory.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, the group 2 projects are supposed to start this summer.
Would it be possible to add those to the other report? Since they're about, you know, they're getting very close.
You mean to the project
report?
Yeah, the project report.
Yep.
And then just while I'm blitzing questions, since nobody's interrupted me to ask another question.
Well, Brian, this is Judith. I'm going to interrupt to ask one follow-up question to what you just asked. Has the board approved Group 2 moving forward?
I don't think they've gone before the board yet.
So, you know, Brian, that would be my only question about putting them on a project report, because then people may think that they're real projects, but
yeah, that's true.
Can't move forward until the board approves them. They approve Group 1, so then it turns into a real project. So I just throw that out there.
Okay. Oh, that's fair. And I may have missed the nuance of this at the info sessions, but I know we did talk about Group 2 project at the info session, so kind of set people's expectations around them, I think, if I recall correctly. So that's just a comment.
Any other questions?
You know, my last question, well, famous last words, but we talked about Prop 51, and I didn't know if there were any updates on the on how the Prop 51 dollars that are coming in we're thinking about being allocated.
There are no updates right now, but we do have a meeting actually tomorrow afternoon. So should be able to provide you an update on the next meeting.
Thank you.
Sorry, the meeting's actually with the school's facilities. I just wanted to clarify that.
What do you mean with the
consultants?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else? Guess that's it.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Connie.
Yeah.
Okay, the next item is the school board action items, and Those were sent out in the email with the agenda from that Brian had sent over to me. So are there any questions or comments about the school board action items? Okay, well, we keep on moving.
Connie, stop sharing your screen.
Can you, or I'm not sure who's going to talk about the bond program audit and what the current status is.
I can speak to it a little bit. They've been doing interviews and they're continuing to do interviews. I don't know if they have a timeline for when that's going to be completed, but it's active and moving.
Okay. Are they still on track for finishing about April 1st?
I think so. I think so. I think so. They've interviewed for quite a few folks thus far.
Okay, good. So future topics, let's see, we've been talking about a long-range master plan for a while. Are we any closer to having a formal discussion on that, or we still have that on our list?
That's still on the list, but it's coming really close. We actually had a meeting with them today, and they are in the process of developing their questionnaires to be sent out.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe we'll be ready for the next CBOC meeting, or I'm not sure. I'll let Kelly make that determination, but.
All right. And then follow on bond discussions. Any new news on that?
On going for additional bonds?
Yeah, the next bond.
No, I would anticipate that probably won't happen in earnest, Chip, until after the long range facilities master plan update is complete.
Okay. And at some time, we'd still like to come by Horner and hold our meeting and take a walkthrough.
Yeah. Yep. I know there was some talk about that.
Right.
And then it kind of died down, and then it went back up. So I'm not sure where it is now.
Okay. All right.
Question about the long range facilities master plan.
Yeah, Brian.
Is there like a project plan so you can understand how the process will play out and the milestones and the timeframes and all that? That's something I think would be good to understand.
Yeah, they submitted that with their proposal. That was part of their proposal. So I don't know what the district's policy is on releasing that, but I can ask, or if they can just provide. It doesn't have to be that particular one. If they just provide some sort of a milestone plan, would that be acceptable?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the intent is just, to I think it's helpful to get input from CBOC, in fact, kind of as community representation on that plan, so that if
I know
it needs to be tailored or for our district or whatnot.
I know that they plan on engaging you folks, Brian. They definitely will be doing that. But I will see if I can get a hold of their schedule and get that to you. I will follow up with you either way.
Thank you.
Sure. Anybody else on that?
Does anybody else have any future topics for a meeting item?
I dropped you a note, Chip. Our annual report to the board is usually somewhere around this time.
Right.
So that I know. So that's one topic.
Well, I think we usually do that in like April, I think.
Okay, cool. Maybe I'm early, but
it's about now that we start working on it, and it's about now that we establish a committee. So I think next month we ought to have it on our agenda to establish a committee to prepare the report and get ready for whenever our time is going to be to report out to the school board. So everybody be thinking about whether you want to volunteer for that, and we'll start working on it. Okay, any new business or any other discussion topics? We got quite a bit of time. We're way ahead of schedule.
Hey, Chip, just to follow back up with Brian. Brian, you'll get my reply and or the copy of the schedule through Chip, as I did with Carla. Is that fine for you?
That's fine. And if it's a public document and there's interest from the rest of the committee, more than fine with it being inclusive of everybody.
Right, right. I'll send it to Chip and he can disperse it how he feels necessary.
Thank you.
Chip, so going back to the topic of future meeting discussions or topics, is it possible to get somebody, I don't know if Kelly or somebody else would be the appropriate person to kind of educate this group about the long range facility plan, like what it is, the timelines, just kind of, I mean, it's been, I think it's been
a long time,
yeah, I think it's been a long time since they had done it. I mean, I think Brian could probably speak to when the last one was done. But I think it would be good for this group to be given that education.
Sure.
And Carl, I think Chip, was what Chip was asking about earlier. There had been some talk, I know back in November at one of these meetings about bringing in the long range facility master plan consultant to kind of give this group education of, how they were going to do, how they were going to go about it, what the steps were going to be, what the schedule was going to look like. And we still plan on doing that. And I think he was asking me, is it sooner rather than later, right?
Right.
So,
I think what Carl is asking for is, lay out 3 or 4 milestones in the future that ultimately lead to the completion of the long range master plan.
I mean,
Carla?
I kind of think that just even so I think that there's two things going on. One is that we are currently in the process of developing or updating, I guess, the long range facility plan. But I think there's also there's a benefit to explaining to this group even what at the very basic level what that is. What is a long range facility plan? How does it get developed? And I think that education can come without the consultant. Like I don't know if it, I'm just thinking in terms of just giving this group because we talk about it, but we don't really provide kind of the background information in terms of what it is and how it came about and all of that good stuff. So
Right.
So I mean, in terms of future meeting topics, I'm just thinking like if this is something that could be discussed at the next meeting or if that's something that kind of separate and a part of the fact that we are, it's currently in process, but just kind of background information. So we all know, so we all know what we're all talking about, I guess.
Good idea. Okay.
I agree. I think an excellent point. I'll note the FAC has had one conversation about the long range facilities master plan history, and I think we'll be talking about it again tonight. I don't know the scope of the conversation tonight. So I think it sounds like something similar to what has happened at FAC would be useful to this committee as well.
And Brian, is somebody from the district presenting that info, or is it about the long range facility plan? Like how is that information going or being presented to the FAC? Or is it just kind of a topic that's being discussed?
So I'm trying to remember. So I presented a summary of the long range facilities plan based off of kind of my historical knowledge, with help from staff on any clarification. But that's actually what happened at FAC. But and then I think we have a further conversation tonight, but I'm not entirely sure of the scope. But I think it's more focus on the update that's coming.
Brian, are you volunteering yourself to present next time?
I'm certainly, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to support staff. I'm happy to do it any which way. But yeah, I'm very happy to share what I know for sure.
And I'll do the same thing, and I'm sure Kelly will too.
Okay, we'll capture it in the minutes that we'd like to have a presentation on what is the long range plan and what is the timeline and process for the final development of it. Carla, does that do it?
Yeah, I think that'd be a great topic. Is next meeting too soon to cover that, or?
Gerald, what do you think?
Can I follow? I don't want to commit Kelly to something that I haven't vetted with her yet. So as a professional courtesy, can I follow up with her and
Sure.
then follow back up with you, Chip?
Yep, that'd be great.
Next day or two?
Yep.
And again, we can split it in half, right? It could be, if everything's not ready for next meeting, a historical overview of where we are and how we got to where we are, I think would be valuable.
I agree totally.
Okay, good.
Yep, sure.
Okay. All right, good. Carla, thanks for consolidating that. That's good. Okay, is there any other new business or discussion topics that anyone would like to bring up? It's kind of an open forum right now. Anybody? No?
Siv, are you talking? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was talking.
No, I think he's listening.
Okay.
All right. Well, we've got a pretty quiet group tonight. All right.
Saving the
I mean, I'll jump in and say, I think the cadence, we've kind of got a good system in place, right? The project report, the budget report actions, and the work you got is on staff have been doing to get that to us is, I think, showing in how quickly we're moving through the topics.
Yep.
So thank you.
So Gerald, with the with COVID and everything kind of continuing on, are the construction projects, are they making better progress than we anticipated they would, say 6 months ago, or are they? How's it looking and feeling out on the construction sites?
It's about the same, Chip, only because we're limited by what we get released from DSA, because everybody in the state has to go through DSA for fire life safety, right? And
right.
They've had to bring, I know just in this area, they've had to bring 4 or 5 people out of retirement to add to their staff because they've just been completely overwhelmed. So there's been some areas of acceleration because there's hasn't been any students there, but it's been really offset by what we get from DSA. So, and I can't really blame them because they are really overwhelmed right now. So it's been about what we expected.
Is DSA sending back a lot of questions and comments that you guys have to respond and react to, or
Yep.
they coming back, pretty clean with approval?
It depends on the project. Some projects, yes, some projects, no. Some have been, clean, but others have not. they've instituted some, because of COVID, they've instituted some new regulations that we've had to comply with that we hadn't anticipated, months ago, partially because of COVID and partially because of what they're dealing with in terms of staff level. So it's been a mixed bag. It really has.
Okay. So Brian Kilgore, at the board meetings, is there discussion about reopening the schools, and there's going to be pressure to get these projects done and getting the schools back open and the middle schools and so on?
Just kind of hit a major milestone as of yesterday. We did post our safety plan, which is available on our website. We have a new parent guardian survey out. We're collecting some data. We also have some staff survey out as well. So now that the shelter in place has been lifted, we are in the process of gathering data. And yeah, we do hope to start picking up the pace, especially now that we've learned that we're moving into Tier 1B, and staff members will be able to have some easier access to the vaccine starting on February 8th. Doesn't mean we're going to get it immediately on February 8th, but we'll have moved into the tier where education staff will be able to get it. So that hopefully will charge things up a little bit.
Will they actually be coming into the school district and giving the vaccines in the school district?
We're waiting to hear from
their doctors and their own medical.
Yeah, it's going to be the Department of Public Health that determines all of that, where the sites are going to be. Our superintendent's been contacting all county and local health agencies saying we're willing to partner with whoever and make our facilities available if that helps in any way. But it's the county that's going to determine where the vaccine dispersal sites are going to be. So I know there's one opening up in Fruitvale, I believe tomorrow. And the sites are going to be determined based on where there's the most need given number of cases to population. So we're not quite sure where Fremont falls into that yet. But we definitely see the wheels starting to turn a little faster. So we're hoping as we go through the month of February, we'll start seeing a lot of progress. But in terms of a reopening date, we haven't really gotten that far yet with a board discussion. February 10th board meeting, there'll be another reopening update that should spur some discussion, but we're not there yet where we're making any predictions of dates yet.
So when they open that center in Fruitvale and any follow-on centers after that, is that going to be open just generally to the public? Or are they going to prioritize the school district and the district employees first?
I believe so. Just like I said, we're falling into that tier, and then I'm not sure how they're going to rank the people that fall into that tier. They're still encouraging people to register. There's a link I can send everyone to register where they can register as an education worker, and then they can be notified whenever their number comes up.
Okay. All right, good. Wow. Complicated.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions for? All right. Well, I guess we're going to get out of class early tonight. Everybody's pretty quiet. I don't know what's going on.
Don't let that pain you so much, Chip.
I know. Jeez. Last month we probably could have worked overtime at least a half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, we went over. Yeah, we did. We went over a little bit.
I know. And this month we're having a hard time filling the time, but
we're just efficient.
We're making up for the last meeting.
Yeah.
So the next meeting is March 10th, Wednesday, March 10th?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
No, I got down March 3rd. Is it March 10th or March 3rd?
We were, at one time we were the first Wednesday, then we got to be the second Wednesday. I have no clue.
I picked March 3rd off my own calendar, which could be wrong. I'm not saying that's gospel, but Ryan Kilgore, do Do you have any recollection or have any knowledge of when
I
our
want
meeting?
to say it's March 3rd, because I think off the top of my head, there's a board meeting on the 10th.
Okay.
I believe it's March 3rd as well. We
I
get
think
bumped
you're
from the
correct.
first meeting.
Yeah.
We get bumped from the first Wednesday anytime there's a board meeting on the first Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's what happens. That's what happened in January.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it.
All righty. Eric, you've been pretty quiet. You doing okay?
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm just waiting for you to dismiss the meeting. I'm sorry, I'm
I
too
don't
honest, I
blame you,
guess.
Eric. I don't blame you, Eric.
If the meeting goes much longer, we're gonna lose Siv because he's just about underwater.
Right. We can say at the top of his head.
Well, Jerry, no, we have another meeting. Actually, we just have a 30 minutes break, and then we're going to have the FAC meeting, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll let you guys, we'll bring this meeting to a close and let you guys have a little break before your FAC, maybe get dinner or a snack or something. All right, well, with that, I'm gonna call for adjournment, and we will see you next time. Thank you, everybody, and stay safe, stay healthy, and if those vaccines come available, we'll get in line. So